Alright, it's the final episode of Suikoden 5. So Rachel, I pressed the button, but Luzarina said that the Senate has been dissolved. And the senators have all agreed to be dissolved. It's gonna be reformation in Falena.
Sure. But does that include island nations?
No, that's a different country.
Okay.
But now, even the dwarves and beavers will be represented in the government. A second coronation. It's like having a second birthday.
What, they're gonna make it yearly?
Hazwar gets... Who's here? Hazwar, Shula, and Raja.
Look at that. Arms is part of Falena now.
They're now friends. Or are they secretly befriending to invade them later?
What for, though?
So there are actually two types of endings you can get.
Just
Based
types. Two types, you said.
There are variations, like if Leon survives or not. But let's say she survives, there are two versions of the good ending. Depending on how you treat
Sure about this?
how you treated your sister.
Well then. Looks like I was actually able to keep my promise to Farron.
And what was that again?
You could have used George. Look, he removed his eye patch.
George, your eye.
It
Yes.
looks
My
different.
eye.
He was perfectly fine.
Well, I was injured in battle long ago, as I said. But I didn't lose my eyesight.
What for?
See
Isn't that...
just fine.
Didn't that
The
mess with
eye
his
patch was just
balance?
to remind myself to never get overconfident.
There you go.
What? Are you serious? Why didn't you ever tell us?
You never saw his true strength.
Don't be mad.
In Suikoden 2, it does
He
not have
looks
shorter hair.
different.
Oh, by the way, I've decided to leave Falena.
Yeah.
So he's retiring.
No. He went to...
No matter what the circumstances, the fact remains that I killed
Yeah.
the queen.
He went to wherever you found him in Suikoden
And
2.
remain in this country after having committed such an act.
George.
He has a new
Well,
haircut.
what's so wrong with that? Dolph was
Come on!
included in the
plans
family
did you
where he killed
What
the
would the
wife.
other countries think? So what do you think?
What did he
Okay,
ask?
okay, you actually get the choice here. So these are the two endings. Which one do you want? What are you gonna do next? Are you gonna stay and
Okay,
help,
then we'll have to help Lim.
or are you gonna pick the other one? Do you
Yeah.
want to be free from your responsibilities, or you want to
Yeah.
help your sister?
But
your
that's
choice here.
personally. Personally, I
it's
would want
It's up to
to
you.
do nothing.
It's up to you.
Okay,
You
just
pick.
do nothing.
You pick whatever you like.
Nothing's going to change for me. I'll go wherever the prince goes to protect him.
From
Well,
from
if you're
what?
not sure, why don't you come with me?
Huh?
So you pick the second version of the ending. The first version is you're gonna stay behind and become, I think, the leader of the Queen's Knights.
Boo.
All is as it should be.
Help
That
your
doesn't
sister.
look like
I'm sure
Hazor.
nothing like that will ever
What? That's Hazwar.
Yeah, but it looks
Indeed.
different.
Why?
Now she's smiling.
She's
And
gone.
where'd she go?
Disappeared.
She looks more charming. So Hazor looks more charming in her box picture.
In her portrait.
Yeah.
So in this ending, you decided to leave Falena and go on a different adventure now. You're gonna say bye, but this is the Island Nations group. Hey, why was Gavaya there?
Because that's where most of the
Oh,
girls
Oh,
are.
this is everyone actually. He just got grouped there. That's the Dragon Horses.
Rathlete.
The Dahak. There's Raja. Who else can we see? Luglan, probably. There you go. Even Babbage is waving to you. Lord Lake crew, Lelkar crew.
So are we gonna bring them back to where they live?
No, they
But
have
we
their,
did help a lot of them. Like,
yeah, but the war is over. They have their own lives to go back to,
Oh, right.
except Leon. Everyone's here. There's Logan Lun.
The family.
There's also nobodies, like those dudes with the hats. They're nobodies. There's Wilhelm, the creep. Roy is not waving. Why is Roy sad? Because Leon is leaving.
Yeah.
There's the family, Subala, and your map guy. Look, that
The
Doremi
Doremi.
helps. Somebody found it for him. There's your appraiser. There's Alhad's rod.
Babaj. Is that Babaj?
No.
Oh no, Alfred.
That's Limpa, the con artist.
Yeah, the con artist is better off with you, right? Because she doesn't have to con people. She's well provided.
That's true. Saw the arms,
So
folks.
it's actually sadder for her to go back to her old life.
And look, yeah, this is the boats are now gonna go on their separate ways. Is that Byakuren?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
serpent.
are they the...
Did you see the serpent swimming? Byakuren?
Yeah, and then the other one too. The other
Oh, the
monster.
turtle?
Yeah,
I didn't
there
see
were
the
two of
turtle.
them.
So depending on where you're going, that's the boat you're riding. The end of the party. That was the Civil War. So you prefer leaving your sister behind than staying.
Yeah. So she doesn't have to keep asking you for...
After being separated from you because of the war, now you're gonna leave her behind. She does
Well,
not
at least we cleared up a lot of things for her.
got. That's a narwhal.
Well, maybe that's what we saw. Looks like they're like, what? Are they lovers now?
It's up to your
They
imagination.
keep holding hands.
So you don't see narwhals do that often. Usually it's dolphins.
That's true.
And this is the adventure ending. This might actually be the grander ending. I don't think you get the scene of seeing everyone ride the boats. You just get a scene of saying hi to your sister and doing your nightly duties. You went to explore the lands. Raja retires in Raflin. And Lucretia disappears into the night. Who knows where she went? She should have been the new prime minister, but nope.
Yeah, that's true.
She does
Her
not.
old life is in prison.
Zerase back to the Sun Palace and disappears. Craig is embarrassed because of his inaction and he resigned. Galleon also retired. He's too old now. Became a teacher. Any surprises here?
I feel bad for those who disappeared. It's like,
No, yeah.
were they punished by
That's
us?
what they want. Boz expands support for trade. Nakula makes a promise to Sagiri to get back at her last. Leon stays with you, of course. Talgale, first chairperson. Wow. And then Urim Barrows. He is now dedicated to restoring the queendom. Dine married the daughter of Raubel.
Who
Kyle
was that?
retires and goes back to Lelkar. Zegai becomes a wild man again. And Isato returns to the elf village. Alcide. Oh, no, sorry. He stays as assistant. He only returns home one last time.
So, well, he has to fulfill the promise
That's
of
true.
returning home. Right.
Hazwar still is Oracle, and she announces a private wedding.
Wow, with
Belkut has a new school. Levi goes back to Zeland to help Ernst free the curse of being a leper. No change
so
there.
did Marina marry? Oh, that's all.
That's you, the family picture, way back. Axe became a grown draggy horse. The rising star of the cavalry. Catharia went back to Harmonia, and they will not meddle with Falena. George leaves and becomes involved in the Dunan reunification war in Suikoden 2. Ernst still finding a way to get rid of the curse. Killy still hunts for
That's so.
the Sindar
He lands in prison.
again. Shula becomes an ambassador to arms. Shun wants to reunite with his fellow gladiators. Bernadette goes home, becomes vice captain still. And Volga has a desk job as the mayor of Lelkar. Of all people, it's Volga.
Uh-huh.
Lance, still popular with Rook. Wasil is in the new parliament. And Flail. Wow. Rahal got promoted. So Lael leaves an egg. He lays an egg to take a leave. Orok also disappears after rebuilding Lelkar. Yoran still takes care of the dragon horses. Nick becomes a full cavalry member and rivals Rugen lands together with Axe. Wilhelm the Creep still gets mercenary jobs. Mueller, of course, follows him behind, and Toma becomes an apprentice as a Queen's Knight. That darn
cool.
kid, one of the first characters we meet.
Yeah, he has fight in him.
Next batch. Any surprises so far? Not really. Oh, Vicky. You know what's gonna happen to Vicky. Sirius is lost because Lucretia disappeared. Raven the thief still volunteers with Oboro's agency. And Shinro the merchant, his business takes off because of trade with arms. Jean disappears because he appears in all the Suikoden games.
Oh,
Norden.
that's
Wow.
good. Right?
Norden reunites with his wife, and Isabel travels to arms to fight against corruption and injustice, as the creed of the Maximilian Knights. Matthias still throws loathsome bodies, corpses into the river. Rahal becomes the commander, replacing Craig. And women are now allowed.
That's cool.
Rug is commander of the Sun Palace Dragon Brigade, so a new branch. They got separated. Waban is the parliament member for the dwarves. Bastan is still appraising in Han. Lorelei goes to the Scarlet Moon Empire, Suikoden 1 setting. Ghosh is now the mediator of Lord Lake politics. Fuwalu, pretty old, and he dies after the war ends, so he's dead of old age. Richard does not want to start his own company. He still follows Mueller wherever he goes. Waban passes the role of delegate to Gundy because he wants to build those minecarts still. Lucerina has a top administrative position. Rania still's a weirdo, playing with her flute. Still a weirdo with good skill in flute. Oh, look at this scene. You
What's
remember
your
this?
eye?
Roy, that's Roy. Mazen, they supply quality armor. Silva does not want to be the official doctor, goes back to Lord Lake. And Murad uses the leftover drugs to create new medicine. And Gavaya still finding a wife in the Island Nations. Azuki still wants to challenge Belkut in the future. Morun becomes a rock star, but Merun drags him home. And Levy wants to help break the curse. Shiger, still the top investigator. And Sagiri... Oh, Oboro leaves, so Fuyo is the one taking over the investigation company. But her smile slips a little.
So
Maybe
she's able to not smile.
a little bit. Marina still works at the inn, hoping to take over, and becomes more direct, no more dilly-dallying. Babbage still works with Gears because of his Dr. Gear. Haleth, the con artist, comes to collect with his bet because he bet on you, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, and if Sarah becomes Shula's bodyguard, teases Tama, Yar and Nels goes back to the Island Nations. They disappeared. Scald Egan following them behind or trying to find them. Murun is now the delegate of the Beavers. Al-Hazred goes to Nagareya, still finding old books. Bergen no longer likes the fireworks. Now he uses his hands to build things, as a dwarf should. How many are we at now?
Not yet half.
Well, I think we're halfway through. Miyakis back to her job as the guardian of Limzilea. And Charmista becomes popular in Falena. Zunda is now the new dwarf leader, and she hates men. Sorensen goes up to the mountains, the last dungeon, to examine contraptions all alone. Cornelio still trying to find 50 members of the Doremi Orchestra. Vicky, while looking at the sun, sneezes and disappears again.
Wow.
Zweig did not find the Crimson Pilgrims. It's only a tree. Josephine goes back home, but she heads north for a more sophisticated culture. Lou still doing her job as an assistant, blowing things up. Maroon is now the new leader after Fuwalu Fuwalu dies. Taylor still doing his journalist jobs. Oboro disappears to settle an old score in Nagarea. Lele, wow, so Lele was taken with Lucretia. Sirius is the only one left behind. Poor Lucretia. And Geno back to the waterfall basin where you found him to annoy fishermen. Maroon still brings Morun back home. And Dango, your blacksmith, Waban still's browbeats him. Fuyo is the new leader of the agency. And Log, now the raft fleet's leader. Oh no, the wife is the raft fleet's leader. He's just traveling everywhere with husband duties and father duties with Lon. Lon joins the cavalry because it's now open to women. The first female rider. Shunmin, wow. Oh look, Shunmin is a lover of Hayo, the Suikoden 2 chef, the one with the Iron Chef minigame. Retso still wants to find that secret recipe. Egbert, wow, why does he go back to the tunnels, the sewers again? And Chuck, still the storage guardian. Byakurin lives at Sarah's Lake to watch over it. Kisara, the leader and the delegate of Rafleet. Nikea joins martial arts tournaments to eat a lot. And Linfa, she now studies how not to cheat. Phelan travels with his sister, going to Harmonia, building stage sets. And then, same with Phelan. And then Subala tries to find the big one, the big fish, but disappears one day.
How can they say she's safe?
Yeah, maybe she got eaten. Or the back and forth between Alcide and Lunas. Because Isato does not want to go home.
Yeah.
Mirun still runs an inn at Yashuna village for the bath. Chisato, the puppeteer, the ventriloquist, still entertains children. And Takamu trying to map the underground water vein while the dwarves mess up the layout. Roy, because he loves acting, joins a theater group up north, and he becomes popular. Syro finally retires.
Nothing so juicy yet.
Really? That's
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh.
Lucretia disappearing is not juicy for you?
With who's the girl?
Lele. And then
Yeah.
Oboro leaving behind the agency to settle an old score. Nagarea. We now have women dragon
Yeah,
horses.
I think that's the biggest win of all.
What happened to Craig after he resigns? He was embarrassed.
Just chill.
Euron
Settle
Barrows
down.
also now reformed. Good guy. Who else? Jean disappears, of course.
A lot of them just disappeared.
To who knows where. Because Jean and Vicky, they always appear in all Suikoden games. So that's Suikoden 5. What are your final thoughts?
I think it was not. The pacing could have been improved. It was a really slow.
Yeah, that's a common
start.
complaint. A lot of setup.
Yeah.
Before the game truly begins once your parents die. Maybe about 5 hours in.
No, I feel like it's been. And then it's been a lot of recruiting.
Of course. Well, those are optional, but we want to get the best ending. If you did not recruit everyone, Leon would have been dead.
But in terms of fighting, it's like everything was crammed when you have to meet in the Sun, Twilight, Dawn, Rune
The final dungeon.
setup, and it felt like they forgot to make it hard, so they're punishing you by not putting in save points. It's like,
Well, oh yeah, okay, save points. Yeah,
Say
this is
like-
an old school game. If it was made in this decade or even the last, there probably would have been more save points in place. And I guess maybe the last dungeon would have been easier if we were switching characters. That was a game punishing us for sticking to only a core of 6 or 8. That's why when
But
we had to make 18.
it's the only time they tried to make it really difficult, because we have been surviving without even knowing that switch function.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the game punishing us for not using a lot of characters. And truth be told, we slacked a lot in terms of equipment. And there's a skill system. I forgot to actually utilize it in the end. We have a lot of skill points unused. So
And a lot of items. We're
a
not
lot of
using
items,
a lot of
that's
items.
right. We did not equip healing items. So we slacked off.
You
a lot of
slacked off.
things.
It's all your task.
Well, it was your fault for not balancing the 3 parties in the final
Yeah,
dungeon.
fine.
So it could have been smoother in the end there. The Doremi elves.
Yeah,
But-
so it's like having a smooth journey.
Yeah, the
Then-
game made us slack off because of the easy ride for most of
Yeah.
the game.
And it was a lot of recruiting.
But what can you say about the story overall? Strictly the story only.
Well, it's a good world domination kind of strategy.
Not really world domination, it's just a country.
Domination strategy. And Lucretia, I don't know, is she always right? Or
All knowing.
on the times she's wrong? Well, that's her trick though. She's not telling you everything about the plan. So in case something surprises you,
She's just gonna say she knew that all along.
yeah, exactly how I was thinking. Yeah, so we're not sure. Is she the real deal? I mean, we won because of
Exactly. You listen to
how
every
she guided us, but
every tip.
is all of it like really exactly how she thought it will be? Just as I thought. I can't even imagine her like saying it now.
That she's wrong. Maybe she just needs to
no,
show.
that she's just as I thought.
Yeah, but
You
she
know what I
needs to uphold that image that she can never be wrong, so that you can trust her as strategist.
Yeah, so it's like her.
That's her branding.
It's like her strategy as a strategist.
That's right.
She does not map out she does not get too specific, so a lot of things can vary, and if you get the final ending that you wish, she can just take credit for it. Like,
Exactly. You listen to me.
yeah.
So who are your favorite characters in terms of battle?
The Marcus, because you can't leave him out. George,
But George was not available for the final boss fight.
because maybe his grinding is better than our grinding, because he got stronger. He's really strong. He's stronger
Yep.
than anyone else.
What about story-wise? Who's memorable to you from the villain side?
Villain side, maybe the psychopath.
Which psychopath? Kilderic, the
Yeah, the one
The
who just
assassin?
wants to kill everyone.
okay. Did you like the war battle system that they have with the boats and the land?
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
A lot will say this is the best version of the war battle,
Mhm.
and I think the one-on-ones were pretty easy for you.
No, I think we did struggle there.
No, I don't think you were ever in danger of losing one.
I think we were at some point. Not this one, not the last one, but we were. Like, they were not with a one, the one with the sound, because we did well there. But there was one that was really difficult. Like, we're not getting what his clues are.
You were confused.
Yeah, I think it was close with that one. I don't remember who that was though.
Salom Barrows, you remember him? He
Yeah,
got killed by
Barrows.
Cyolids. This is the Barrows crew. You don't remember these generals? There's your man. There's Kilderic, right? That's him.
Mm-hmm.
What about Dolph?
Well, Dolph appears to be all amazing, like very invincible.
What about Gazelle and Marsko?
But in the end, they were not that.
Did you like Farid as a character?
Sure, I really thought like
He would last longer.
the parents are gonna last long.
Yeah, they seem like cool parents, but of course they couldn't last forever. And that's you, the prince. So yeah, this is officially the final mainline Suikoden game. Unfortunately, because the damage done by Suikoden 4, it affected the sales of Suikoden 5. Yeah, that's unfortunate because I think it's a good.
So this is a
return.
good one. So were they able to redeem?
Yeah, this is well liked by a lot. Some would argue that, of course, Suikoden 2 is still the best one. For me, this is the better one, but that's a minority opinion. But everyone agrees that it's a return to form, especially after Suikoden 4. Yeah, unfortunately, we never get to visit the northern country of Harmonia. It's just been alluded to by a lot of folks. We never saw it. So, any final thoughts for Suikoden 5?
Pretty long.
I think we're clocking in about
Game.
60 hours.
I know. Is that normal? Is that comparable to the others?
That's
It felt long to me.
it's pretty long, but not as long as the Persona games. Definitely, those are 100-hour
yeah.
games.
I enjoyed the boss fights
Easy because they were easy.
because they were easy. But I think there were just a lot of padding, if I may say, because it
Again-
felt long for
Again,
me.
the recruiting are all optional, but
And yeah, the setup, the pacing is just off for me.
Okay.
That's it. But story, then the games, the fighting stuff, it's all fun. The story, you can summarize it. It's engaging, but because of too many paddings, it's like it gets lost somewhere.
Well-
It's like you're awake when there's some action,
I
but
think-
the action is not happening all the time.
I think you're complaining about it is because whenever we have any opportunity to recruit, we always recruit. That's why for
Yeah,
you it
I
seemed like
always
padding.
remember like this is gonna be a recruiting episode,
that's-
so it doesn't
Sure.
align with the game time.
Of course, because
moments.
again, I wanted to recruit
And then
everyone.
suddenly it's like slaps you in the face with, oh, I forgot we have so many battles to it's like, oh, we have a quota for the battles, and they just pushed everything to the end.
That's the nature of the beast
It's like
because 108
Procrastinating for the longest time.
there's 108 characters, so of course most of them are going to be optional. That's why you have to recruit them by force. You have to really put the story on hold to recruit them. That's not. I guess you can maybe you can integrate the recruitment better, but that's to be expected because it's 108 characters. You will have to go out of the main story to recruit most of them. But for me, when I first played this, I immediately started the new game. That's the first RPG I ever did that. So yeah.
What do you mean you immediately started a new game?
After I finished it, I started the game again.
You repeated it.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
you're crazy.
On my first play, I did not get all 108.
Oh, that's why,
Yeah.
right?
So that's it. Suikoden 5.
The end.
The end. We'll see you next time.
You never played.